She thought she could be more than the other woman. She thought she could rewrite the rules of love, power, and betrayal. But in the glittering estates of Lekki Phase 1, secrets don't stay buried. They explode. Stay tuned. This is a true tale of ambition, obsession, and a deadly price paid in full. Welcome to another chilling episode of Twisted Love Files. And please hit the subscription button and turn on the notification bell. Stay with me because this story will make you question. Who was the true victim, the wife, the husband, or the mistress who fought back? In the opulent estates of Lekki Phase 1, Lagos, lived Charles Obi, a 53-year-old real estate magnate. Tall, handsome, undeniably rich, and dangerously charming. From the outside, his life was a meticulously curated masterpiece. He had a stunning wife, Amelia, soft-spoken, loyal, and every inch the dignified Madame Obi of Lagos high society. Their marriage, a picture of domestic bliss, was the envy of friends and neighbors, whispered about over champagne flutes at exclusive garden parties. But behind the closed doors of their palatial home, a different narrative unfolded. Amelia, with a quiet strength born of weary resignation, knew her husband wasn't faithful. The faint scent of unfamiliar perfume on his shirts, the late-night calls disguised as business emergencies, the increasingly frequent trips out of town, they were all silent confirmations of a truth she had long accepted. Charles had a secret. Her name was Ivy, a 26 breathtakingly beautiful, bold, and fiercely ambitious. An emerging fashion designer who refused to be relegated to the shadows as just another mistress. Ivy saw herself not as a temporary diversion, but as a woman on a mission. From the day Charles, in a grand gesture of his affection, and perhaps a fleeting sense of guilt, bought her a sleek new car and rented her a prime boutique space on Admiralty Way, Ivy harbored a singular, unwavering goal. One day, I will replace Amelia. Ivy was sharp. She understood that begging Charles to leave his wife was a fool's errand, a worn-out tactic that only made mistresses appear desperate and weak. No, Ivy preferred a more surgical approach. She decided to dismantle the marriage herself, brick by meticulous brick, from the inside out. She began subtly, anonymously. Amelia's phone, once a bastion of polite society updates, started pinging with cryptic texts. Your husband is cheating. You should check the boutique on Admiralty Way. Then came the more pointed ones. He's there right now. Ask him about the red dress. Amelia dismissed them at first, attributing them to jealous acquaintances or random spam. But the frequency increased, the details grew sharper, too specific to ignore. Ivy then turned her attention to the insatiable beast of Lagos gossip. She tipped off the city's most voracious bloggers, those digital vultures who feasted on the scandals of the wealthy. Soon, a discreetly worded, yet undeniably damning, gossip post appeared on a popular blog. Lekki big boy spotted spoiling side chick with new Lexus. The post didn't name Charles directly, but the description was unmistakable, and the car, Amelia had seen that exact model in Charles's garage. Amelia, a woman who prided herself on her composure, felt the carefully constructed facade of her life begin to crack. She read every word, every whispered innuendo, every cruel comment. The weight of public humiliation, even if unspoken, pressed down on her. One sweltering afternoon, something in Amelia snapped. The anonymous texts, the blog post, the insidious whispers, they coalesced into an unbearable pressure. She found herself, almost instinctively, trailing Charles's gleaming black SUV. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she watched him pull up to a chic boutique on Admiralty Way. This was it. This was the place the texts had mentioned. With a surge of unfamiliar fury, Amelia parked her car and stormed inside. The boutique was a symphony of silk and sequins, and in the center of it all, a woman with striking features and an arrogant smirk on her lips. It was Ivy. The moment Amelia walked in, the trendy young staff froze, their hushed conversations dying in their throats. The air crackled with a sudden, suffocating tension. You're the one. Amelia's voice, usually soft and melodious, was a raw, guttural cry, her finger trembling as she pointed at Ivy. "Stay away from my husband, you cheap thing." But Ivy, far from cowering, only smiled. It was a slow, deliberate smile, one that didn't quite reach her eyes. Her gaze was cool, appraising, almost triumphant. "Your husband bought me this boutique, this car, this life," Ivy purred, her voice a low, taunting whisper that carried clearly in the suddenly silent space. "If I'm cheap, why does he keep coming back?" The insult, delivered with such venomous calm, was a physical blow. It broke something fundamental in Amelia. The years of quiet endurance, the carefully constructed dignity, shattered in an instant. With a primal roar, Amelia lunged forward, her hand connecting with Ivy's cheek with a resounding slap that echoed through the boutique. The force of it made Ivy's head snap to the side, and a crimson mark bloomed on her flawless skin. But Ivy didn't cry. She didn't even flinch. Instead, she slowly, deliberately, turned her head back, a chilling grin spreading across her lips. And behind the scenes, unseen by Amelia in her rage, Ivy's hidden phone camera was recording every single moment. The slap, the shouting, Amelia's desperate, unraveling fury. It was all being captured, a weapon meticulously crafted for maximum damage. A week later, the city of Lagos was abuzz with a new scandal. Amelia, the dignified Mrs. Obi, was arrested. The charge, assault and attempted intimidation. The news spread like wildfire, fueled by the insatiable appetite for celebrity downfall. The CCTV footage from the boutique, which would have shown Ivy's provocation, mysteriously vanished, replaced by Ivy's expertly edited video, showing only the moment of the slap, stripped of all context. Neighbors gossiped behind cupped hands. Society whispered in hushed tones over expensive cocktails. Charles's wife arrested? Is she mad with jealousy? Is the side chick winning? Amelia's world, already fragile, crumbled beneath the weight of public condemnation. The shame, the humiliation, the sheer injustice of it all was almost unbearable. Charles, ever the pragmatist and image-conscious tycoon, made a swift, decisive move. He couldn't afford a public scandal to tarnish his carefully cultivated reputation. Ashamed, or perhaps simply calculating, he moved out of the marital home and, with a chilling lack of fanfare, moved into Ivy's sleek, modern apartment. And that's when Ivy made her final, most audacious move. She had him now, precisely where she wanted him. One intimate, seemingly innocuous night, as Charles lay contentedly in bed at Ivy's flat, satiated after a luxurious dinner, she whispered, her voice a silken thread against the quiet hum of the air conditioning. "Marry me, leave Amelia for good, or go back to that old woman, and lose everything." Charles, however, simply laughed. It was a deep, dismissive chuckle, devoid of any genuine amusement, a sound that sliced through Ivy's carefully constructed triumph like a cold knife. "Mistress is mistress, wife is wife," he drawled, his voice laced with an infuriating condescension. "You'll never be Madame Obi. Know your place." That was the last straw, the very last, agonizing splinter of hope and validation that Ivy had clung to, shattered into a million sharp pieces. For 3 years, she had given him everything. Her vibrant youth, her body, her deepest dreams of a life of power and influence, and now he dared to reduce her to just a plaything. The words echoed in her mind, a cruel, mocking refrain. Her heart, once a vessel of ambition, cracked into a searing, unadulterated rage. Ivy's mind, always sharp and strategic, began to churn with a terrifying new purpose. She needed a way to make him regret those words, to pay for his arrogance, to ensure that no one ever dared to reduce her again. Her first call was to her best friend, Chloe, who owned a small, unassuming spa in Acadia. A spa that, unknown to most, secretly imported rare, exotic beauty products from South Africa, including, she now recalled, the highly potent and deadly belladonna extract, ostensibly for anti-aging treatments. Chloe hesitated, her voice laced with trepidation when Ivy explained, in vague but chilling terms, what she needed. "Ivy, I hope you know what you're doing." But Ivy only smiled, a cold, unfeeling curve of her lips. "Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing, Chloe." 2 days later, Charles sat in Ivy's pristine, minimalist kitchen, beads of sweat glistening on his forehead after a vigorous morning run. He picked up his favorite mango smoothie, which Ivy had prepared for him, chilling on the counter. He took a long, refreshing gulp. He drank, smacked his lips, a contented sigh escaping him. Within minutes, an unfamiliar burning sensation began to creep up his throat. His heart, which had been pumping rhythmically after his run, began to race, an erratic drum solo against his ribs. He gasped for air, his vision blurring at the edges. What did you do?" Charles choked out, his voice hoarse, a desperate whisper of alarm. Ivy stood opposite him, a silent sentinel, watching him die. Her eyes, usually so expressive, were cold, devoid of any warmth, any regret. "I gave you everything, Charles," she said, her voice eerily calm, detached. "And you gave me nothing but empty promises. Now, I take everything." Within the hour, Charles Obi, the undisputed Lekki real estate king, was dead. The police investigation was swift and relentless. At the autopsy, the highly unusual poison was quickly traced back to Chloe's spa. When the police, armed with search warrants, raided Ivy's sleek boutique, they found it, tucked away in a hidden compartment of her desk, almost daring them to find it, was her secret diary. Inside, a full, meticulous confession, a chillingly detailed plan, a motive laid bare in elegant script. Every single incriminating detail, from the anonymous texts to the edited video, to the specific dose of belladonna. It was all there, a testament to Ivy's meticulous, yet ultimately self-destructive planning. But the biggest shock came when Charles's will was read. Weeks before his death, in a quiet, uncharacteristic move, he had updated it. He had left a substantial sum of 20 million Nigerian nairas for Ivy. Ivy had killed him for nothing. She would have become a millionaire legally without murder. In court, Ivy showed no tears. Her face was a mask of cold defiance, her posture rigid, almost regal. She listened impassively as the damning evidence was presented, as her own words from the diary were read aloud, painting a chilling portrait of calculated vengeance. When the judge, his voice heavy with solemnity, finally asked, "Ms. Ivy, why did you do it?" "You were getting the money anyway," she whispered, her voice barely audible, yet clear in the hushed courtroom. "He made me feel cheap. I couldn't forgive that." The verdict was swift and inevitable, guilty of first-degree murder. Life imprisonment. Charles lost his life, a casualty of his own hubris and a woman's wounded pride. Amelia, the dignified wife, lost her husband and her reputation, left to pick up the shattered pieces of a life publicly disgraced. And Ivy, the ambitious mistress, lost her freedom, trading a life of luxury and aspiration for the grim reality of a prison cell. No one won. Only tragedy remained, a stark, unyielding testament to the destructive power of ambition, betrayal, and unrequited rage. And so, we close the file on Charles, Amelia, and Ivy, a story that began with a secret liaison and ended with a life brutally taken, a reputation shattered, and a future imprisoned. There's no neat ending here, just chilling questions that linger. Who was the true victim in this twisted tale? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, remember, love can be the most beautiful thing or the most deadly. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more twisted love stories. Until next time, stay safe.